Good morning, it's Elaine with Elaine's Custom Cards, and this is the card we're doing today. I decided to use something from the new mini catalog. Actually, these are celebration items. The paper is, let's see, actually quite beautiful. It's called Lily Impressions DSP, and it's free and during celebration starting January 3rd. With a $50 purchase, you can get this paper for free. It's got some beautiful, beautiful papers in it. Anyway, this is the paper I used for this card. And then I used the lovely Lily Pads stamp set. This is free with a $50 purchase. So you spend $100, you get the paper and the stamp set. If you spend another $100, so that you can get this for free. So for a $200 purchase, you get all these items for free during celebration. So I used all three of the paper, the dies, and the stamp set in this project. And then I also used this Special Celebrations stamp set, and it is a it's cling stamp, and there's two. And I used the happy birthday on the outside and the hope your day brings just what it should, happiness and health, on the inside of the card. Okay, so let's get started with this. This is Pool Party cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. That's the card base. The inside of the card is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8, and I already stamped this. It's Granny Apple Green. And then here's all my little pieces. You will need a piece of the Pretty Peacock, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. The DSP is well, I forgot to write that down, but let me tell you what it is. This is 5 1/4 by 4. So what I did first was I glued these two together. Look at the back of this paper. Isn't it just beautiful? I had a hard time deciding whether to use the front or the back. But I got my idea for this card from the celebration catalog. I changed it just a little. Adhere those together. Then we're going to take this piece, which I cut out in Granny Apple Green with the die right here. And what I did, because it was a little longer than I wanted it to be, I cut out the center one because I'm going to cover that anyway. So I just cut the center one out because it's going to be underneath our label. So you won't even see that I did that. So all I did with this piece is put glue just down the center of this little band right here. I didn't put any glue on the other pieces. And then I just kind of decided where I wanted it, and I put it just to the end of the DSP. It's like so. And then I glued the other piece on. Just like that. And did the same thing over here. Just like that. There. Okay. Then I took glue dots. Let me tell you how I did this. Get my glue dots. I stamped, you can use the back of these stamps, but I used my aqua painter, and let me demonstrate on, these are a little darker than these, so let's do this first. Let's let that dry a little bit so I can show you how I colored these flowers. I took, first I did the inside of this like this, so we're going to demonstrate on, I don't know it, oh there it is. Get a piece of scratch paper, and we're going to use this scratch paper on there. Okay, so I stamped the flowers on both the envelope and this in this is Melon Mambo. So I just kind of stamped it here and stamped one in the corner of the envelope. And then I took my aqua painter and just colored it in. Can you see? There. You have to do it pretty much right after you stamp in order to get the ink from the flower to kind of spread. And if you want it darker, you can just add a little bit and make it darker. Just like so. And you don't want to put too much water unless you're using the watercolor paper. Otherwise, you're going to have a spreading. So, it's a pretty simple process. You can have it light or dark. I kind of wanted to do some, the first card I did light, and this one I thought I'd do a little darker just to see what it would look like. And you have variations in the color. It's pretty simple. So that's all there is to that. And then I took Bermuda Bay. First I cleaned my aqua painter because I don't want pink in my leaves. And then I just did the same thing with the Bermuda Bay. I stamped the leaf. Kind of right next to the flowers, like so. Like that. I took the aqua painter and did the same thing. Just kind of painted it. It's a very simple process. And you get, it's nice because you get some variations in your colors. So it's not all just a solid color. That's all there is to it. So I did that on all my leaves, and then I cut them out with the dies. Let me clean these stamps so that I don't get ink all over me. or something else. Okay. So we'll set those aside to dry. Then we're going to take this stuff and we're going to do this. So what I did here, first I took a glue dot and put it on one of the leaves. Let me get this up here, just like so. Where that went, but it went somewhere. And I just kind of put it behind that flower. And then I took a Stampin' Dimensional, put there, and that's a large one, and then the mini one I put toward the end of the leaf there. Set that aside. Then I have my big flowers, and I did the same thing. I took Stampin' Dimensionals, kind of put them on the leaves and the small flower, and then we're going to assemble the flowers. We put I found this worked the best for me, was to put a glue dot on each one of these, and then you can assemble. Make sure you put it on top and not behind. Okay. Then I started assembling. So the first thing I did with this flower, I know my husband said, that flower's upside down. I said, well, you know, that's the way it was in the picture. So I decided to do it the same way. And then I just started attaching flowers or leaves. Kind of where I thought it looked good. And it's all a matter of preference. It's what looks good to you. If you don't like your flower upside down looking, then by all means put it right side up. But I thought it looked fine this way. So there's that one. And then this one, put the two leaves together, just like so. And these are going to go on top of this flower. So we'll put glue dot there. And we're going to set it right on top. Okay? And then I put dimensionals on the back of this. And you want to make sure you get enough so that it doesn't sag down. The other thing this does is it kind of holds those leaves better in place. And I think I'll put one right. Let's see. Right here. Okay. Maybe I'll put one behind that flower too. There. Okay. Now let's put this on the front of our card before we do anything else. So I'm going to adhere this up piece to the card base. Like so. Now you can make bigger borders if you want. I just like the way this looked. Okay. Then I took this flower and went ahead and put it on the front. Right there. Now we're going to assemble this. So we need a few more glue dots on the front of this. So we're going to put it behind this. So let's put one down here. And you want to make sure you have enough so it stays. You don't want it moving. Okay. And then you're just going to arrange it on the front of your, or behind your sentiment. And I used the let's see, Timeless Label punch to punch this out. Stamped it with Granny Apple Green and then sponged around it with Pretty Peacock. And then I put Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. And I put enough so that it wouldn't sag. And I'm going to put one in the center and one up here on this flower. And maybe a small one over here. So I definitely don't want those leaves sagging. Okay. And then we're almost done, except for the inside. Got to glue that inside panel on. I have some bling to put on there. I decided to use 3 different colors. You can use all one color if you want. I just thought, oh, that looks interesting. So I used 3 different colors. So I'm going to put this one on first and get it centered where I want it. Just like so. And I'm going to take this one and kind of tuck it under. Oops, but not cover up my words there. Just like so. And then I'm going to take my inside panel. Get those little things off there, out of my way. Okay, we're going to glue that to the inside. Now you could use Wink of Stella to make your flowers kind of shiny. I just didn't on this card. Okay, almost done. Now we're going to take our, these are the Noble Peacock rhinestones. I used the pink one. And then I used a green one on here. And then I used a blue one. You just got to find a place to put it where it kind of shows up. Otherwise it's kind of dark. How about maybe, I guess it doesn't really matter, we'll put it over here. Right there. And that's your card. With an envelope to go with it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to sign up under me as a demonstrator, just go to my website, elainedotson.stampinup.net, or you can order there. And this sale starts, like I said, January 3rd. You have a blessed day and enjoy stamping.